coolest thing ever. Juno? Yes! I wasn't sure I'd ever see you again, Ivan. She smiles and they embrace. Ivan is completely taken aback, as though he doesn't dare believe she's real. I'm sorry. I couldn't make it to Sigerholm. I ran into problems. Problems is putting it lightly. There's a mile-wide canyon practically splitting the world in two over those hills. Couldn't find a place to cross. Worse, dredge are practically falling out of it like blood from a wound. They're not coming from the north anymore. They're everywhere. We noticed. Glad to see you made it out alive, Ingvar. I take it the others didn't? Khan becomes quiet. Then he motions towards Juno. She got across somehow, found her out cold for a second time since leaving Strand. We need every axe we can get right now. Bellower is here. Gods be damned. I thought I was free from that menace. I will deal with Bellower. Come on. No need to tempt him by standing out here. Holy. Everything's a struggle. Khan's caravan enters the city, fighting off waves of dredge as they go. To your relief, hundreds of skilled warriors are now safely in Bjorksgard. Oh, yes. Khan joins you with his personal bodyguard, Mager. Behind him, the Prince Ludin and his entourage are in tow, though looking less than pleased to be here. I have one last trip to make. I need this one to come with me, she says, pointing at you. I'm sorry, you must wait for me one last time. Do not let the city fall before I return. It takes everything within Ivid's power to hold back, but he does. She turns to you. Rook, come with me. We'll return in 2 days, maybe less if you're as quick as you look. Tell anyone who needs to know. Where? Why? Not far, says Juno. She pauses and something shifts in your vision just for a moment. I know it's hard, she says, her voice filling your head. And you've already been through a lot. As she speaks again, the rest of the world melts away. But you're needed. You can't find the words to argue. Oh my, things are going crazy. You don't remember leaving the city, but here you are, walking through unfamiliar ground behind Juno. You're alone, aside from hundreds of dredge who are all facing toward an enormous stone ahead. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up. What the hell? Good God. We're at the godson of Stravus. You glance nervously around, but the dredge didn't seem to hear you. It's okay. You can speak softly. Is this where you're going to sacrifice me? Juno smiles. What could have come across as profoundly creepy looks sincere instead. No, the dredge cannot see us. To be more precise, they can see us, but I've convinced them to be unconcerned. I can understand your apprehension, though. Who are you? I wish we had time for a proper introduction. My name is Juno. I am on the Mender Council. You've met Ivan, my apprentice. How are you doing these things, controlling minds? I thought Menders built things and healed wounds. You are right, Menders do these things. Some of us still practice the teachings given to the Loom Mother's first creations. We are called Valka. I believe I am the only one who can influence another's mind. Then why not take control of Bellower? I learned the talent to heal minds, not control them. Though even some Valka have trouble believing this. Taking control of Bellower, it is the difference between convincing a child to sit still and telling a starving bear to stop being hungry. The truth is, we're rarely a match for the Sunder anymore. Our advantage is that we can train more Valka. It is also our weakness. The Valka pass on and lose their knowledge, while the Sunder simply grow older and more powerful. Bellower is both immortal and beyond my influence to a point. Then how do we stop him? The God of Secrets will play a part as you will. As will you. What are we doing out here? Do you know of the gods, Stravus? If you know this stone exists, even amongst those who have lived their whole lives in Borisgard. While Dengler deals in fortune, Stravus taught men the value of trade in a different way. He showed them it has consequence, two sides of the same coin. See the silver in the stone? The gales up here wear away the stone, but the metal remains. We need a piece of this silver. The god Stravus is read by imagery of silver weapons. The myths say he traded these weapons to the gods, and they used them to kill each other. Those who seek out the stone call him the god of trade. The menders call him the god of secrets. He was both. Why are we surrounded by dredge? They seem to be drawn to the godstone. There are many things we don't know about Stravus. Maybe they see him as a patron, or it is an attraction they cannot explain. Does Stravus have something to do with that serpent in Irontoft? What was that thing? I cannot say. Can't? I have my suspicions, but until I've had time at the Mender libraries, it would be unwise to speculate. For all our knowledge, it always seems as though we know little. Imagine how the rest of us feel. On the contrary, the less people know, the more certain they tend to be. Why did you pick me? Why didn't you take Ivan or Hakan? You don't even know me. I apologize for putting you in danger. Ivan must keep Borisgard from falling while we're away. And if something goes wrong here, I need to be certain one of us makes it back alive. I saw the thoughts of each person while I arrived in Borisgard. You were the only one I knew would return. What do you mean? You would find your way back to Alet no matter what. Let's get what we need and go. Indeed, you'll need to dislodge at least a fistful of the metal. We will forge it into an arrow to slay Bellower. Wait, after everything you've told me, make a magic arrow to shoot Bellower? That's all it takes? Why didn't you just do that a long time ago? Juno gets a faraway look in her eyes. No, that's not all it takes. What I tell you now must not be repeated. The arrow will not kill Bellower, even were it to strike his heart. He has no physical weakness, but it will sow doubt in his mind. When it pierces him, I will help him believe that he is dying. The rest of you will convince him of that with sword and axe. Everyone who fights at your side must believe it to be true. You're going to trick him into thinking he's dead? That is the most insane. He really can't be killed. No, someday he will awaken and realize he is not dead. I imagine he will be quite upset. First, we must make the arrow. Focus on the task at hand. She looks up knowingly at the godstone, waiting for you to start climbing. Rook, I am not certain how the dredge will react when you do this, and behind us is a sudden drop. So be careful. Holy shit. This is absolutely insane. Approaching the back of the stone, you start to climb, looking for a loose piece of the silver vein. Even without looking out onto the dredge, you can feel each sinister face watching you closely, held back only by Juno's influence. Panic races through your blood. Try to quickly wrench out the nearest chunk. Climb higher where it is easier to remove. As you climb, you can't help but notice the stony masks of dredge lined up before the god stone. Like worshippers before an idol, just a glimpse nearly immobilizes you. Your hand rests on a piece of silver that comes away easily. The dredge do not react. Look for another piece. While you're here, you glance quickly around to see if there's any more low-hanging fruit. You're able to pry away another smaller piece of silver ore before your nerves give out. You nimbly descend to where Juno is waiting. Well done, she says. As you walk back through the dredge, their heads turn in unison to follow. The dredge that lingers, the shaking in your hands does not subside for hours. Jesus Christ. Got Stravos's whetstone. You approach the gates of Borisgard again, relieved that they're still standing. It looks like they took a beating while you were gone. Olette rushes to your side and throws her arms around you once you've crept through the gates. Juno smiles at the reunion and tells you, take this time with your daughter. Find a smith who can fashion an arrow from that silver. I have other things to which I must attend, but meet on the walls when you are done. Okay, heroes. Alright, what are we looking at? Wow. Bunch of garbage. I don't need him. Him. Eric is insane, that's for sure. Him over Olette right now. Promote. Confirm. 36 kills. Rook is insane. Oh yeah, promote Eric. That dude's crazy. Yeah. So we want Ivor, Hakan, this dude, that. Okay, alright, what do you do? 20% chance to do 2 times strength damage. What do you have? +3 armor break? Okay, you can have that, you can have that. 2 armor per turn. $15 chance to do more strength damage. Okay. That's fine. I don't know what looks on ahead, but it legitimately feels we're getting closer and closer to the end. We reunited all of our storylines right now, so we have one. It's like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, if you ever played it. There's 2 storylines, good and evil, for the good guys and the bad guys. And once you finish both storylines, everybody groups up and you play the end storyline, which is basically like it looks like a wishbone, where the meat of it is in these 2 separate divides, and then once it comes together, that's the very end, and everything is present for that last bit. So I think that's where we're at. My prediction is like we find Juno, she's the all-powerful or whatever, and she's like the last key to help us in the game. So we have her as well. Knockback on strength attacks of 4. +1 armor. Yeah. Got 72 days worth of supplies. Hell yes. Crafters. Takes a while, but you finally find someone willing to craft an arrow for you. He eyes you suspiciously when you show him the silver, but shakes his head and gets started. Olette watches the smith's fire reflecting in her distant stare. I talked with Ivan a long time while you were gone. He told me a lot about Juno. Is she really as powerful as he said? It certainly seems that way. That might be the most luck we've had so far. Dad, I think that's the only kind of luck really we've had so far. Oh no, except for that one old dude that made a bunch of stew. It was great. Dad, I think I know what's going to happen now. An arrow? She's going to make you shoot Bellower, isn't she? I don't know for sure. Come on, who else is going to do it? Ivor? Lad, I know where this is going. You're afraid of me dying. This isn't like before. We can't run this time. That's not what I... Let me do it. No, that is not an option. What do you do when Balor comes straight for the person holding the only thing that can destroy him? Let me speak. Everything's changed. Saga feels so long ago. I'm not asking because I'm afraid of losing you. I'm not afraid of anything anymore. Let me do it because you know I'm a better shot. I have a better chance of puncturing his armor. We only have one shot. I'm not a child anymore. I'm not just some girl. I'm your daughter. I can do this for once. Let me decide what happens to me. I'm sorry. Alette, no. She stares into the firelight. You wait for the tears to come to her eyes, but they never do. Just promise. Promise we'll be together. You sit by her side silently until the smith finishes his work. I'm not taking Alette into battle. It has nothing to do with story. I'm going to show you why I'm not taking Alette into battle. This is a level 1 person. These are level 5s and 4s. These are her stats. Alette will do nothing and go down instantly. I'm not taking Alette into battle. Talk to Juno. There he is. Juno is in the middle of an animated debate as you approach the arrow in your hand. There's little time left. Bellower knows we're here. Whether he is waiting for more of his forces to arrive or simply wants to starve us out first, I cannot tell, but he will not expect a direct attack. Is this a joke? How are we going to do that? I will take a handful of warriors to face him. I can keep a small group hidden from sight. The rest of you will lead the charge from here. With luck, Bellower will send his armies away from himself to meet you. What about the ravens? They may protest. They will not. I have arranged a task for them. Even if you make it to Bellower, what chances there of defeating him? We saw what happened at Einertoft. That thing can't be killed. Juno shows them the arrow you had forged from the god's stone silver. This will make him bleed like the rest of us. Once he is pierced, he will be vulnerable. She looks you in the eyes. We only have one. Do not miss. And bring only those you absolutely need. It will take all my concentration to keep the other dread from swallowing us up. I cannot join in battle. And if we kill Bellower, then what? The dread will just wander away. That is my belief, yes. I can't say for certain. This is a doomed plan. Help us hold out here until the ships are finished. And then what? Bellower will hound our every step all the way to our burying. And where I am certain more sunder await. Now is the time to speak to loved ones in the memory of any god that pleases you. Rest. In the morning we slay asunder.